אנחנו נדבר קצת על הקמפוסים, ויש לנו אורחת, היא צעירה יהודייה לוחמת, ואם אני אספר לך איך נפגשתי איתה.
זהו, אז אולי לפני זה נעשה, אני אמרתי פה לחבר'ה לפני השידור, שענבל אוספת אנשים. כל מקום שהיא הולכת נדבקים אליה אנשים, והיא אוספת אנשים ככה, יש לנו פה, אנחנו פרוסים בכל מקום. אבל מה שאנחנו הולכות לדבר היום, זאת זווית שקצת נסתרת מעיניו של הציבור הישראלי. אני חושבת שבאופן כללי הפודקאסט הזה הוא קצת חושף איזה בליינד ספוט שיש לציבור הישראלי, בפרט לציבור הלאומי בארץ, אבל אני כן חושבת שהיום זה משהו שכן קצת הגיע לחדשות. כל הסיפור של הקמפוסים והאנטישמיות בקמפוסים בצפון אמריקה, זה דבר שכן חלחל אלינו, אני חושבת שסביב פסח הקודם אם אני לא טועה. אבל אולי תגידי כמה מילים, איך נפגשת?
טוב, אז זה ממש סיפור בנות גילמור קלאסי. אני מסתובבת לי במנהטן עם בנותיי, 2 מתוך בנותיי, טליה הגדולה שלי שבדיוק הייתה בהפוגה מהמילואים,
וואו.
והליל הקטנה שהייתה צריכה קצת עברור מהמלחמה והאזעקות, ואנחנו מסתובבות לנו בחנות יד שנייה, ועומדות להן בצד 2 צעירות שהן מסתכלות עלינו, ואני קולטת שהן מתחילות ככה להתלחש ביניהן, ואני אומרת לעצמי, מעניין על מה הן מדברות. Maybe tell us how we met from your angle.
Right. So my friend needed a leather jacket. She needed it. So we walk into this store and I'm on one section, she's in another section. She comes up to me and she says, "Melanie, there are these women speaking Hebrew." I go, "Yalla, let's investigate." And so I go and then I stop and I look weird and I just listen and then I'm like, okay, 2 for 2 confirmation, they're speaking Hebrew. And so I think I may make my way over and I say, "Slicha, excuse me, I think I have stickers that you might want." And so I thought maybe you thought I was giving you like maybe a pro-Palestinian sticker because I heard the Hebrew, and then I give you this sticker that I made and that says "Believe Israeli Women." And I think something happened because I also felt it too, but like this understanding and I think like visibility of what you and your daughters and your community are facing that is not being acknowledged in the diaspora of Israel, certainly not in Manhattan. And so that's how I remember the story. And it's been WhatsApp messages ever since.
Right. And yeah, we were looking forward for this moment. And you know, it's really funny that you said that you were wondering what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. So I have to tell you that we came from Florida, and the family where we stayed, they didn't tell us don't speak in Hebrew, but I got the feeling that they wanted us to be careful. They were worried for us. So it's funny, you thought basically the same. You thought to yourself, what is she thinking? It didn't cross my mind. I don't know. It was something about you that made me feel comfortable. But I was surprised when I saw the sticker. I have to admit.
Why don't you show the sticker? Maybe show it to the camera, or it says, describe it in one word.
So this is a sticker that I made with the silhouette of a woman with her back face forward and a yellow ribbon on her back, like a tattoo. And it says, "Believe Israeli Women."
It's very elegant.
It's very elegant, and it's very strong. So before you start telling us about the sticker and what pushed you to decide that that's what you want to do, that you want to fight for Israeli women, tell us about yourself.
Okay. So I'm 21 years old. I am born and raised in Montreal. I go to McGill University and I study international developments and gender studies. I'm going into my 3rd year. Before October 7th, I think I took being Jewish and being Zionist for granted. It was not at the forefront of my identity. It was on the back burner. And I would first identify myself as a feminist, as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend, as a woman. And then post-October 7th, it's like Zionist, Jewish, period, end of sentence. Because I don't feel like I have to add more. Wow. And so my identity really changed post-October 7th. It wasn't that I was ashamed to be Jewish before. It wasn't on my mind as much. I wasn't targeted in the streets. I wasn't being called a Nazi. I wasn't, in class wondering, what my professor thinks of me because they see a Magen David on my chest and I refuse to hide it.
You used to go before October 7th with a Magen David on you?
No. I used to, it really wasn't part of my identity that I needed to broadcast to the world. It was, for me, being Jewish was, doing the chagim with my family at home. And,
How many siblings do you have?
I have one sister, Davina. We're very, very close. And she too, she when October 7th happened, she was already outside of the campus. She had a job. So we were experiencing very different things because now she's at work and I'm on campus. And campus is like no other place, right? Even though Montreal was consumed by anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism rhetoric, campus is the hub it's at its core where it starts. So my family, we were all experiencing different things. Not to say that one had it harder than the other, but we were really experiencing different things. So sometimes difficult to support each other because my mom works 10 minutes away from home and we live in quite a Jewish area. So she's not seeing the same posters and the same signs and the same vandalism that I was seeing every day. But we stuck as a unit. Yeah.
But if you can describe life on campus before, how did you engage with other Jewish students? How did you engage with non-Jewish students and different organizations who operated on campus before? What was the life before everything,
So September 2023 was my first year in university.
You're a freshman.
I just started and I was figuring out university life. It's very different. And I was just finding my feet, finding out where my classes were, where the good bathrooms are, and then boom, October 7th happens.
So it happened really, really fast.
Really fast. Yeah. And it was a big shock. It was a big shock because you're in university and then people are telling you to die and then you're trying to figure out what a GPA is.
What's a GPA?
It's a grade point average.
A grade?
It's your grade. It's your grade average. Okay. And it really shook my world. And then you're rethinking to yourself, okay, do I say my last name even? People think Segev is Russian. Do I correct them?
Last name?
Segev.
Okay.
Ken. I'm always very proud to say, no, it's Hebrew, and I love the meaning of it. But it really did cross my mind. And that never would have crossed my mind before October 7th on campus. Yeah.
So who are the parties who basically, I'm talking about organizations. Was it individuals? Was it professors? Was it staff? Was it, just describe a little bit.
Take us to your experience. Take the average Israeli. Mm-hmm. Take us to your world after October 7th in campus.
Okay. So October 7th happened and it felt like everybody just jumped on the bandwagon of I hate Israel. And not only I hate Israel, I hate the Jews.
But was there a time of shock? I mean, 2 minutes of pro-Israel?
No,
nothing.
There was never.
I mean, thousands of terrorists crossed the Gaza Strip and murdered and raped and kidnapped innocent people, and there was not even
posted on social media.
Yeah,
I mean, it was there.
There was not even a single moment of pro-Israel emotions.
A lot of students do not believe that Hamas is a terrorist organization. They deny, that's why I made this sticker, they deny the actions of Hamas. They could not believe.
But even, even when, the photos of Noah Argamani on the
Shani
motorcycle.
Luke, all these women.
There was no, because I do remember I don't know, a glimpse of pro-Israel feelings and you know, I don't know. Yeah.
On campuses?
No, not on campuses. You know, I didn't, after October 7th, I didn't really saw anything, see anything. So, but it's, I don't know, I remember that was like singers and different VIPs in North America, they were very fond of Israel by that time. Today it's very different, but I do remember that there was sympathy to Israel and understanding in like a week after October 7th. So I don't know, in campuses, nothing.
This is my experience. For McGill, there was no sympathy towards Israelis, no sympathy towards Jews, no sympathy for people living in Israel who were just at the Nova Festival, nothing.
And you study gender.
I study gender.
So what did your professors and teachers have to say?
They fully believe there's a genocide in Palestine caused by the IDF, right? No.
After the first few
October
days,
7th.
even before Israel started the actual war.
Exactly. So there are buzzwords that are trending, right? But also I think a key component of this war is not the facts. It is the social media. Because Hamas infiltrated Telegram to their videos that got uploaded on October 7th, 8th, 9th, got millions upon millions upon millions of views.
What videos? I mean, most of the videos were them
Like violence,
torturing
of
our
course.
girls.
And that didn't make anyone feel uncomfortable? Like maybe these atrocities that we're looking at, this shouldn't happen?
The hostage signs, you know, when they're posted around Montreal, people take videos of bringing them down, of taking them down, right? What sympathy is that? What sympathy is putting a swastika on Kfir Bibas's face? And that's what we see, right? And so, yes, Hamas uploaded the videos of raping women, of torturing people, of bringing them into tunnels, of, you know, I think of Naama's sweatpants constantly, right? The blood-stained sweatpants.
Right. Horrible.
People did not say, maybe we shouldn't do this. Nobody said that, right? But they did show after the IDF bombed Gaza, the rubble. And, you know, and I know that I have this video on loop in my head, and it's of a Palestinian actor who's sitting in the rubble in Gaza with a teddy bear near him. He's a paid actor, you know? These were the videos that were in our hands. But the videos,
they believed it. So the
100%.
actual real live videos that Hamas posted were considered something that you see and it's normal, and they accepted it basically. That's what you're saying. They supported by not opposing to what happened, but by not condemning what happened. They agreed with Hamas. What
but
Hamas
remember,
did.
their rhetoric is also Israelis are white colonizers.
But
Right, because this is okay, when you say white colonizers, it means that you can do anything to the person who is blamed for that.
So who's they?
Pro-Palestinian students.
But who's they? I mean, you're walking in the campus, and who are they? The one who
Individuals,
I mean, is it
organizations.
students? Is it like I don't know, your teachers, the I don't know, the head of the campuses?
So mostly it's students, and not students of Arab descent. It is people who have actual colonial roots. It is people with blonde hair and blue eyes who are screaming "Viva Viva Intifada" in my face.
Wow.
Also,
How did they know you're Jew?
because I will always hold a poster of a hostage sign at a vigil, right? And I will never hide, you know, my necklaces or if I'm at a protest, like I will never hide that I'm there.
So you
know?
started to walk with Magen David after October 7th in campus.
Of course, yeah. Because I said, you know what? They think that we are white colonizers, that we're baby killers, that we're genocide supporters. But the fact is that we are human, you know?
Right.
And so they have to realize, they have to humanize Israelis and Jewish people, that we are not monsters. And
And your great opponent were what?
Was it-
No Palestinian students or Arab? I don't know. Muslim?
So there are, but the majority are people who would not survive one day in Gaza. There are people who are queer. There are people
Right.
with, and not to say, there's so many videos trending of you with the blue hair, but like, bemet, that's what it is.
Right. They will throw them off the roofs. But who organized it? Who orchestrated those protests? And do you have any idea who's funding them? Who's organizing them?
So there are student clubs on campus that are being funded by the student government. That's a huge, huge, huge problem, and one that we've been fighting against. That why should they be getting funding if they're spewing hatred, right?
And anti-Semitism. Basically, the Canadian government is paying for anti-Semitism.
Yeah. So the student government is paying clubs to, have protests and have bake sales, send this to Gaza because look at what the IDF is doing to them. There's also a lot of protesters who are not even students.
So they came from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And, at our encampment, so we had a 3-month encampment. 3 months.
Can you say a word to someone who doesn't know what an encampment is?
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
what is this?
the school is private property, right? It's not public, not just anybody can go there. But people have free access to it. However, it's private property that protesters are violating in the sense that they put up tents and they stay there until the police kick them out. Ours lasted for 3 months.
Oh, wow.
That is a quarter of a year.
Wow.
That's an entire season.
Could you
And
imagine?
what? I mean, they live in tents?
They live in tents. A lot of the tents were the exact same company. So,
Okay.
right? So they're being paid somehow.
That's very interesting.
And 3 months, and there's like health code violation after health code violation, right? And a lot of drugs are being used. And, when it rained, the students would hide in the libraries. Like, this is not normal.
Were you able to study? Were you able to enter classes? Were you?
But what's the issue with this encampment? I mean, they built tents, and what did they do there? Except drugs.
They're basically fighting for McGill. So the encampments are set up that the university should break ties. It's part of the BDS movement, boycott, divest, sanction. Should break ties with any Jewish or Israeli institution.
So that was their goal.
Mm-hmm.
To influence.
What organizations are publicly took part in this? They said that we are in Colombia. You saw Justice for Palestine.
Right.
That. What organizations?
So Students for
operating?
Palestine is a big one. There's also, honestly, anyone could go. You didn't even have to be part of the school. That's what's crazy about it, is that people who did not even attend McGill were sleeping on McGill property for 3 months.
Is it okay?
So you were basically the university allowed stranger to come into the university and protest and basically, torture Jewish Zionist students, right? Even ones who don't declare, their political opinions. They were still, if they were identified as Jewish.
Right. And their signs, their signs were just horrible, right? Viva, Viva Intifada. That's quite traumatizing for people who have family members who were killed in the Intifadas, right?
Right.
Also, some of them were like, Hitler had the right solution.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That was
and the campus,
bland, anti-Semitism.
Right.
In your face.
But so a lot of them dispute that anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism.
Right.
They are not correlated. But to me, they are so correlated.
Why?
Jewish people have a connection to Israel. In the Bible, when we pray in the Adama, we don't pray for rain in Montreal. We don't pray for rain in California. We pray for rain in Israel. It is like your roots are here. Whether you believe in it or not, your roots are here. And that's a biblical sense. But there's also archaeology and science and language and culture. Like, we are an ethno-religious minority. We're an ethnicity and a religion. People don't understand that.
Right.
we are so connected to this land that for you to say that Israel should not be the Jewish homeland is an act of anti-Semitism, and it is an act of anti-Zionism. For me, those can't be separated. They can't be divorced. But so many people say, no, it's okay. I have Jewish friends and I support my Jewish friends and but I don't support the state of Israel.
You mentioned they have Jewish friends. Do you have Jewish friends who supported the protests and the anti-Israel?
For me, I am so far on the Zionist side. It is a core value, and I don't believe that for friendships you have to agree on everything.
Right.
Yeah.
But for me, Zionism is a non-negotiable. It's you have to believe in that Israel is the Jewish homeland. End of story. And if you can't agree on that, then we can have a discussion. I'd love to hear your points, and I'd love to engage in that conversation. But this is a non-negotiable for me.
So, do you know any Jewish students?
Of course.
Who took part?
Can you describe us the Jewish, student community of students in McGill? I mean,
right.
What is it? How is it separated? How is it combined?
So we have many different clubs. We have some that are more liberal. We have Hillel, which is more focused on Jewish life. It also caters a lot more to the international students. And there's a big difference between local Montreal students like myself versus international students and what our priorities are. There's also more grassroots organizations that students have started. There's also Chabad. There's also Jewish clubs that are for Palestine. There's Chavurah. There's IJV, Independent Jewish Voices.
That's a pro-Palestine.
Exactly. So there's two.
And they're being funded from the same source, the government?
So the student government at McGill gives funding to certain groups. I believe IJV gets funding from them. So
How popular they are?
They're not so popular, probably around 20 people or so.
Uh-huh.
However, they make noise in, let's say, student government meetings when they wear a keffiyeh and they start every single sentence with, as a Jewish student.
Yeah, of course, they give legitimacy to all the Palestinian.
Exactly.
Palestinian.
Well, as a Jewish student.
They make it kosher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anti-Semitism. They
kosher anti-Semitism.
Yes. Wow.
And I want to ask you, how's your experience as a student? I mean, you were a freshman, and then, I don't know, your teachers.
Right.
Where is the the head of McGill? I don't know. When they put Hitler signs.
Right.
Meaning, did anyone defend you from the university, the staff?
So right now, the Jewish community, the ones who are very, very pro-Israel, are very, very active in messaging staff and messaging the dean, saying this is not appropriate, for so many times. Let's say a film festival for Gaza, all these things, why are we allowed to be spewing hate, and why are we allowed to basically indoctrinating people from all over the world, because there's so many international students, about Jew hatred, right? So they're very active in pushing the staff and the dean, but
did they make a difference? They're interfering, trying to change things?
Sometimes things are shut down. And unfortunately, there's been staff who get the repercussions, obviously, of, let's say, shutting down a pro-Palestinian event. They're getting doxxed for censorship. I know one...
You need to explain that term.
Doxing.
Yes, you experienced it yourself.
Right.
We need our viewers to...
Okay, so doxing essentially is a form of online harassment in the sense that somebody who most of the time you don't know shares your private information.
Like shaming.
Yeah.
But it's more than that.
In Hebrew, we call it shaming.
Private information
shaming.
about your... the family and your relative. It's much worse than that.
Right.
Tell us about it.
So I was doxxed. Last time I was in Israel, I was here with an organization called Allied Voices for Israel, bringing Jews and non-Jews to Israel to explore the conflict from many different sides: Palestinian, Bedouin, Druze.
Before October 7th?
No, this was a few months ago in December.
Okay.
And so they made a video. The staff made a video of me saying, "Oh, Melanie, what's been your favorite thing in Israel so far?" And I said, "Machane Yehuda."
Of course.
and so they screenshotted the video of me, and they in the caption they put, "Yay, trip on stolen land." And I don't have Instagram, so the next best thing was they found my LinkedIn, and they put my first name, last name, and that's information that you can do a lot with, right?
Right. How far did they get?
That was all, thank God.
And where did they put it?
They put it on Instagram, on a story for 24 hours.
But you said that they got to your mom as well. I mean, they found out what's her name and...
So they didn't find out her name, but they found out other people's moms. One student who's also very pro-Israel at McGill, like they found her mom and they stalked her mom.
Wow.
Another person who's also very active on campus, on social media, posting about Israel. She lives downtown, not too far from campus, and she was stalked home.
Wow.
So they found out her address.
Wow. So basically, if you support Israel on campus,
Mm-hmm.
you have a target on your back.
100%. 100%. And it's crazy because it's,
Are they violent?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there are so many altercations with pro-Palestinian students and Israeli students of, I was one time at a vigil for the hostages last year, and they stole somebody's flag, the Israeli flag, and then that led to an altercation. But it is very scary when you think they have your name, they can Google it, and they can find your family, they can find where you live, they can find out where you work, right? Because we have so much information online.
This is a fear we're not experiencing.
Right. We send our kids to school. We have other issues here.
Of course.
However, we send our kids to school. You're not a minority. You're not a minority, and you're not afraid.
You have all the whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, this is something that a normal Israeli and average Israeli is not experiencing.
And not only that, I think we used to hear about it more, from Europe, like cases in France and places like that, Germany,
France,
in America, in Canada, in Australia. In England,
it's a new thing.
This is something else, and so basically, how do other Jewish students feel? Because when you started this campaign with the stickers, you basically gave your friends and asked them to, tell us a little bit about how you.
So the stickers started off with me wanting to do something of showing Israeli and Jewish pride. And I wanted this to be on people's laptops. I wanted this to be on people's water bottles.
She gave me one for my water bottle. I'll show you.
Give me one.
Of course she will.
And then it kind of snowballed into, oh wait, this has to be advocacy. And so I gave it to friends and I said, when you see, because our city is covered in anti-Semitism and anti-Zionist
your city, not campus. Your
exactly.
City.
Everywhere you go, there
covered with signs, stickers, posters,
everything.
Wow.
And the genocide. I mean, this is everywhere in the subway, everywhere.
Right.
It starts on campus, but then it grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. So our entire city is consumed by, these posters and stickers. So I told my friends and I said, take a video of the poster or the sticker that's anti-Israel or anti-Jewish and put mine on top. And I'll upload it to Instagram. And then so people have been doing that, and it's in Montreal, it's in Israel. Thank God I don't have to see any anti-Israel stickers in Israel. But they're in Paris, they're in Japan right now, they're in America, they're soon going to be in London.
But why did you choose this slogan? Why did
I choose Believe Israeli Women? I've always been an advocate for women's rights. It's like, and I remember finding out what the term feminist was when I was 12, and I was like, that's me. That's me.
See, she's a real feminist.
Yeah. We have to be, right?
Because I'm saying a real feminist because, you know, the women organization were quiet about this. And the one that were quiet, at least didn't blame publicly the Israeli women, but other women, like Judith Butler, said that it was, what was it, like an art resistance? You basically said that the women deserved it.
And what sucks is that in gender studies, Judith Butler is like one of the matriarchs, right? Yeah. So I'm constantly reading her, and I continue to ask, why are my professors giving me this when she is known to be an anti-Semite?
Right.
Yet we constantly read her in all of my classes. It's like re-traumatizing to do homework about about work that's written by an anti-Semite, right?
So how did your friends, your Jewish friends, felt and when you posted on social media that they were?
Yeah, so I was so happy that my friends, you know, when they're walking home at night from school or whatever, and a lot of them live in downtown areas, and they're putting up my stickers and they're sending me these videos, I'm like, wow. Because when people see this, when Jewish people see this, when Israeli people see this, they feel seen, they feel heard, because the world has ignored them, right? And so I posted them and I tagged them, and then they called me and they said, remove us from the tags. We don't want to be affiliated with this. Not because they're
Who told you?
My friends who posted the stickers. Not because they're not proud of the work that they did, and I call them the Zio baddies. It's because they are genuinely fearful of the consequences being affiliated with a Zionist account. And there are consequences, because it's not the same for a student at Hebrew U to put an Am Yisrael Chai post with an Israeli flag on their back as it is to do that at McGill, right? There are severe consequences.
What are the consequences?
So one of them, he's doing an internship, and his advisor has a daughter-in-law who is Palestinian.
Oh, wow.
His internship is responsible for paying all of his bills, for his academic standing, for his status in the master's program. So he could lose all of that. Another one said that
this is how you keep quiet. You understand?
Another one's inside, and the arts departments have been hit hard, right? Because not all departments have been hit as hard by anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism, but the arts have been really hit hard. And so another girl, she's in psychology, and she said, you know, what master's program will accept me? Like, who will be my mentor? What jobs will I get? What jobs will I not get? Because my account is here, you know?
Because she put a sticker that says,
and she's Israeli,
right? Israeli women. She's Israeli?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
And so we all have friends and sisters and cousins who all have such horrible stories, and we want to make them heard, and we want the world to acknowledge them. But then we feel as though we can't do that just because of like the serious doxing, harassment, lack of opportunities, firing, losing money. Like that's what being a Zionist is. It's like you make a lot of sacrifices when you're a Zionist in the diaspora.
Let's go back to the Jewish organizations, not the non-Zionist ones, the Hillel and Chabad on campus. What's their role before October 7, okay? How did they present, I don't know, were they supportive of Israel, Zionism? Did they, was it obvious that they support Israel, or it wasn't very clear, just Jewishness and no more than that?
So Chabad always, and it's still very pro-Israel. Hillel, on the other hand, Hillel serves a different community in the sense that these are people who are looking for Shabbats away from home. So these are more international students, more American students at McGill, who are more focused on having a Jewish life than doing Zionism.
That's before October 7th.
I would say pre and post October 7th.
Okay.
Post. That's very interesting that you're saying post, because I thought that you're going to say, okay, that was before and now they are...
A lot of my friends are Zionists in their heart, and they're Zionists. They will attend the vigil for October 7th. But do they need to be talking about October 7th and Israel society all the time? No. They just want to do Shabbat and Havdalah and the Chagim.
And that Hillel gives them this.
Yeah. And there's also, there's tension because Hillel, Montreal is a very, very, very Zionist community. The Jewish community there is very Zionist. Not to say that we're not Jewish, but we're very Zionist. Like, I was always raised to have an Israeli flag on my back at a Yom Ha'atzmaut party, and I was very raised in, my parents volunteered for 20 years in Beit Lochem. Like,
wow.
It was always a part of me. And of course we did Shabbat, but they always raised me to believe in the foundation of Israel and to support it, no matter what. But I don't think Americans are all raised that way. And it's different from Canadians. I was having a discussion with this about this with my friend. Canadians are Zionist first and then Jewish second. But really? I think Americans are the opposite, in the sense that a lot of them have been able to assimilate into their communities, and they don't have to worry about Israel as much. But in Montreal, Jews have always felt discriminated against. I mean, we had, not too long ago, there were quotas at McGill for Jewish students. So it is crazy to be a Jewish student at McGill.
Oh my God.
Facing this, right?
This is like...
Yeah.
Ooh, that is crazy. That is like racism, like the 40s and the 30s. Yeah. That's crazy.
Canada, during the Second World War, Canada only took in 5,000 Jews.
Wow.
Right?
Now,
It's nothing.
It is nothing.
Can you talk about like what we see here from Israel happening in Canada about the rise of anti-Semitism and I don't know what will happen with the new government, but in the last government it seemed that they couldn't care less about the anti-Semitism. Can you describe us, like take us to Canada for a moment?
Yeah, land of the maple trees. Anti-Semitism on campus is real, it is alive, and it is not going anywhere. I do not foresee it leaving in the next year or in the next few years. It is, when there are hostage posters that are put up, they're taken down. I have seen too many posters of Kfir Bibas, Ariel Bibas, with swastikas on their faces.
Wow. That's terrible.
But this is campus.
Right.
What about, I don't know, country-wise?
My experience is the most personal on campus, but in Montreal, the mayor has not said anything to condemn, violent pro-Palestinian protests where police cars have been burnt.
Oh.
A lot of my buildings on campus have actually been completely vandalized. So there's a lot of broken windows. And so the university is not going to pay for new windows for them to be smashed in again.
Wow.
What do you mean?
Do you think he's afraid of the protest?
It's just going to be ongoing. So a lot of the buildings, like millions and millions and millions worth of damage to buildings, and this is all over Montreal. Wow. And so why isn't our mayor Valérie Plante saying this is not okay to be happening in our city? People have the right to be in a city that is safe.
Where is the police?
Where is the police?
Oh, you don't know.
On February 5th, I remember this so vividly because it was at like 8 p.m. or so, and I get like 1,000 messages, and there was a mob of 40 people, mostly non-students, who vandalized one of the most popular buildings at McGill University. Wow. And it's made of all of glass. So they completely destroyed the entire first floor of windows, and that's where classes are. So my classes are actually 10 steps away from those windows that are completely smashed in. So imagine in Canada in winter and your class is 10 steps away from cardboard.
I cannot imagine.
And
It's
so there are
horrible.
40 people who, in the middle of the night at 8 p.m., they took hammers and bricks and stones, ruined all the windows.
Wow.
And because it's downtown, it took a long time for the police to get there because the police is not on campus.
So by the time they got there, it was all destroyed.
Everybody was gone. 40
Wow.
people, not one arrested.
Wow.
It took them 10 minutes.
And
to
they
arrive
have
on
no
campus.
cameras. They didn't try to find them. It's just they're
Nothing
not
happened.
being held accountable
Exactly.
for what they're
Exactly.
done. It's could you imagine living like this? Could you imagine sending your kids to a university
we
like
have,
this?
We have a lot of challenges.
Mhm,
like
we
my
do.
husband now is in Gaza, and her husband is also in military service. But I think that the feeling is, okay, we're fighting and we're together, but we're not alone. Okay, so we might be alone as Israel now. Things are changing in the international sphere, but we're together as a community, as people, as a state. And I think that the feeling of being a minority, well, that's horrible. I mean,
Yeah.
and do you feel alone?
This is what I had to explain to an Israeli friend of mine because he didn't understand anti-Semitism really. He didn't really get it. And I said, well, you've always been the majority, right? In your country, like you're always a majority. You never had to think about it. But when you're treated as a minority within a minority within a minority, it's complicated. We're not just a religious minority, we're an ethnic minority. So
Yes, but
Right.
usually they treat minorities as as a treasure, except
Unless you are a
unless you're
Jew.
right, we're not tokenized minorities.
Mhm.
We're not privileged minorities. And they would say, no, you are though. You're all rich.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So there's so much.
They're white, they're
roots-
rich,
the roots
and
of
colonizers.
The protocol of
right.
yeah.
Wow,
Okay.
it's
So-
but before we were talking about the Jewish organizations, and I'm trying to really go back to that and understand their role in this
Right.
because what their formal opinion on that, how do they assist you? Are they able to assist you?
It's been tough. It's been tough because I feel like they're being pulled in many different directions.
Politically, meaning they're afraid to express
Right.
their.
Hillel has to be an apolitical organization, right?
Why?
Because that's their foundation.
But supporting Israel is political? Isn't that like the basic? They're a Jewish organization.
You would think, but not all Hillels are prioritizing Israel advocacy right now. That says something, right?
It's let me tell you, it's not only now.
Mhm.
I mean, it's for years. I think since 2010 they started to
There was a
switch.
shift, yeah.
There was a major shift, and they're like hosting anti-Israel. I mean, there's like groups within Hillel, like separated from Hillel. It's like for a different topic. Open Hillel, who hosted organizations like Jewish Voice for Peace and Justice for Palestine, and collaborated with them. So they don't want to pay the price that that you were talking about. Like
Right.
if you are publicly supporting Israel, it means that your degree might get hurt.
Yeah.
You might not find a job because you'll be labeled as a Zionist, and if
Yeah.
you're a Zionist, we don't want you in our company.
Right.
Can you give us a word about the presence or e-presence of the Jewish agency?
Right. Okay. So the Jewish Agency for Israel, I have a shaliach at my Hillel. He's very, very nice. He's very, very understanding and empathetic. But I do think that sometimes there are cultural clashes because he comes from Israel. He does not know what it's like to be a 20-year-old or an 18-year-old in Montreal who is being triggered in class because they're saying Hitler had the right solution. And
Wow.
professors who are saying the genocide in Gaza, right? And, in gender studies, I study a lot of homophobia, right? And
Right.
so Israel is known to be a pink-washing state, right? And then so when I raise my hand and I don't get called on, say, whoa, rega. it's wild. It's wild to say that Israel's a pinkwashing state when, you know, civil marriage just isn't a thing here. But they don't bring that nuance. They don't bring that nuance into class. So we're having these experiences that an Israeli might not understand because they've never experienced.
What do you expect them to do? And that brings me to the next question. How can we help?
I think being there to listen and honestly ask students, what do you need? What do you want? I think being empathetic and understanding and listening is good, but sometimes it's important to sit with the student and say, what do you want to do? Maybe it's writing an email to the professor explaining what you would have said had you been given the chance to be called upon. And you know what? Also, too, bringing in programming that makes people feel proud to be Israeli or have Israeli roots or proud to be Jewish. This year at my Hillel, I founded Cafe Ivrit because I wanted people to have a connection.
She's amazing, right?
I'm still learning Hebrew in my Leat Leah. I wanted people to have a connection to Israel that wasn't just the war. Okay. I wanted people to have iced cafe like at a Homa and to try sugar water. And I wanted people to really connect with the Israeli culture in a meaningful way that is fun and that you make friends and you vibe. And that these are the people who actually started putting up my stickers around Montreal.
Wow.
Because they started coming and they had fun. And they're learning Hebrew, and it's like we're learning the colors and the numbers, and you know we sort of look like we're going off to preschool.
So the shaliach of the Jewish agency is helping.
Exactly. So Moreh Ronen has been teaching us Hebrew, and it's really great. And you know, the more people have been coming to Cafe Ivrit, they start coming to more Hillel events, and and Hillel brings in speakers, not just Jewish speakers, but brings in speakers to talk about Israel, to talk about the conflict, to give different perspectives. So the more they're more engaged in Hillel activities. And that's also too, it can also just be like a pizza making event, but it's still bringing in the Jewish community aspect of it. So Cafe Ivrit has been really spearheaded by Ronen.
Do you feel like you would want to do more in... you want the help from Ronen to like maybe communicate with the head of the Sochnut, the diaspora minister to assist you to do more? What would you like to do? And I don't know, maybe you don't have the resources. Right. What do you think would be helpful?
I think we need to bring students aware that if there are no options and opportunities for you in diaspora, here's how we can help. If you're not going to get your internship because you're a Zionist, here's an Israeli organization that can help you, right?
Right. To even send them to Israel to finish their degree or to.
And I maybe this is going to be a hot take, but I do not believe the solution for Jews in Israel is for everyone to make Aliyah, because a lot of people just say go to Israel, and I'm like.
We need the world to be safe for Jews and Jews. I'd love for Jews to come here, but honestly, they should make their own decision, and the world shouldn't be like, covered with Nazis and people who don't believe that Jews should live in general.
Right.
We have to make sure you feel safe.
Yeah.
And
I don't think Jews should be removed from spaces.
Right. What do you think? If you had people from Israel, men and women that would have, that would study in university, and you'll know that they're there and they're openly speaking about their Judaism and Zionism and they're not afraid. How would that make you feel?
They will find out, and they will have the opportunity to find out what battlefield is harder, is tougher, in Gaza or in Megillah. I think that sometimes it's easier to fight in Gaza, for example, because you're friends and you're in your own country, than to be in her battlefield.
Because the enemies, they look like, You know, they don't look like anybody. They speak highly about values and human rights and everything.
No,
about Western ideals and values, right?
Right. Liberalism.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, she's afraid to walk around with her Magen David because
what
they
is
will
your message to
dox her.
What is your message to the Israeli public? To people in your age or not in your age?
Number one, toda.
4.
Just toda. And I think that says enough. Toda rabba. I can never put myself in their shoes, and I think about that a lot. And when I see soldiers, I mean, the sticker culture here is amazing. Nachon?
Yes.
Yeah. And you see their birth dates, and they're younger than you, or they're the same age as you, or they're a few years older
your
than you.
age. They're your age.
It kills me because I have the privilege of not having to fight in Gaza and not having to have terror attacks and not be woken up by Saba Adom every night. And I understand that, you know, our message as a Jewish people is that we are all one, right? And then so I feel like sometimes we're not, because I'm not experiencing what they're experiencing. And I'm like, wow. To anybody, like, let's go to Aroma. My message to them is, let's go to Aroma, coffee on me. It's the least I can do, because wow. And the second thing is, I hope you feel support. I hope you feel support from us, and let us know if we need to do anything more or better. But I think that maybe some Israelis think that the world knows more than they do, and that so many people don't even know about the hostages. And that's not to say that because they're dumb, they just don't know.
Right. They're not all anti-Semites,
They're
right?
not all anti-Semites. Some people just do not know. And so I don't want Israelis to think that the entire world is against them. There's just some people who don't know and they're neutral. But there's some people who are really, really fighting for them. And that we are in awe of, you know, of the bus drivers who, you know, get me from Hod HaSharon to Jerusalem on time for this podcast, and the soldiers and the people who are living, because I'm like, wow, I don't think anywhere else in the world, any time in history, have people been able to rise up like people have here, you know, after war, Intifada, the bus bombings, everything. And you still see people living life and producing technology and, you know, and starting these amazing organizations about love and peace. And it's like, wow, you don't see that anywhere else. There's a ruach.
You know, Melanie, you're talking and I'm like holding myself not to cry, because first of all, you're so amazing. And like when we read about Israeli heroes, women heroes, I could visualize them a lot better because of you, because of the way you hold your identity, your Jewish identity. It's just, you get the concept of arvut adadit, and I just feel that I'm so happy I met you in that secondhand store looking for a leather jacket, because you're giving us hope. There's a really strong and resilient young people around there, and you could be the leader.
I want to thank you. I mean, when I asked you what message do you want to give to our, to the people of Israel, I thought you were going to say, I don't know, hear us, understand what we're going through. I mean, please support us. And then you said just the opposite. So really, I mean, thank you for your activity. Thank you for being you. And thank you for your words. I think it's really, really meaningful.
Thank you for having me. This is honestly like the coolest thing I've ever done. And honestly, like I learned so much more like about Israelis and what Israelis have gone through and what Israelis are feeling and their hopes and their dreams, but also their fears and their worries. And I hope to bring your message back to Canada and to let people know how you are surviving. And
you should know that Sala and I are here for you, but I could tell you that you know, the rest of the Israelis are here for you. And even though we seem like we're fighting a little bit every now and then, but we
want to bring your voice to the Israeli public.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's very important for them to know, first of all, what you're going through, you and your friends and your family and your community, how you fight, how you're not, you know, you surrender all these fights. It's not an easy thing. I mean, as I said before, we're together, and you are there, kind of alone. I don't know, maybe alone, but you're a part of a greater thing.
You're not alone. We're all connected.
And that's it. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Melanie. You're amazing.